was kind of like the word. How many felt like this was a year of clarity and overflow? Yeah, that is really like one of the main things. That was a way to really talk about how to stay focused in 2023. So that was in January. February, we were talking about black power, basically fighting reparations. Reparations is a thing in the black community that we've been talking about for 40 years, but really over the last 2 years it's really been important. But in this issue in particular was Anthony Kellum. So Anthony Kellum is here with me, real estate entrepreneur, speaker, and author. And I've known Anthony for a long time. And, you know, I've had this magazine 7 years. And so Anthony and I, we've been talking back and forth. And I was like, when are we going to get out here and start talking? When are we going to start doing that? I said, and I'm kind of like that kind of pusher. It's like, I'll just push you out there. It's like, no picture. You have the goods. And so one of the things he's going to do is be sharing his wisdom. March, we talked again a little bit about your purpose is needed now more than ever. And on the cover is Tara Caressa, who really talks about wealth building as well. On the cover, we've had Dennis Kimbrough, Think and Grow Rich. How many people know Dennis Kimbrough? Our first cover was how LaRick and I actually met was with Dr. George Frazier, who's a mentor of mine. He's from Cleveland, and a mentor of LaRick as well. Then also to another mentor of mine, Les Brown. He was on the cover as well, who also LaRick worked with as well. So there's a lot of synergy that goes in between. And then in the issue that you all have right now, Juneteenth is coming up. We got the brand new June issue. But on page 2, you'll see that, again, we're talking about wealth building. And so Dexter B. Jenkins is on page 2 talking about that as well. I had a young lady ask me, she says, well, do you coach speakers? Really don't coach speakers, but a lot of our speakers are speaker coaches. And one of them in particular is Cheryl Wood, who's on the back of this cover. And she has an event called Stage Domination with her mentor, Lisa Nichols, Gloria Mayfield Banks, and Trent Shelton. So if you're interested in that, make sure you get this copy brand new off the press as well. Again, Dexter, he'll be speaking up as well, but he talks about real estate investment. He's a faith financial mentor. So Anthony is going to be talking about investment property. All right, and everybody got this flyer about Anthony's new program that he's talking about, Investor Advantage Program Highlights. But I think I want you all to know a little bit more about Anthony, because nobody just shows up and, like LaRick talked about, what is the backstory? How did they get there? Why are they interested? What is it? Why? You could do anything. You could have been a dentist. You could have been a football player. I mean, so why investment property? Why is that important to you? And so that's the first question I want to have you answer. And then give us a backstory of where you came from and how everybody comes into real estate differently. So give us your why.
So can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? So real estate, why real estate for me is really my only skill. It's the only talent I have. So I listen to a lot of you guys, I have different businesses, different skill sets. Real estate was just it for me.
Why was it? Why did you love it so much?
I think it goes back to my dad a little bit.
Growing up,
where my dad was in real estate.
There you go.
But also, I think as importantly was he always said stay the course. Like people change, jobs, change states, like he was always, like those jeans are gonna come back in style again. If you wear them long enough, they're gonna come back in style again.
The ones with the holes in them.
Yeah, so at that time, what was going on in our family was like people were moving around the country. Jobs over here are better, things are here better. So that just always stayed with me. And then it's kind of like Kobe Bryant. It's like, it's all I do, and I want people to know when you think of Anthony Kellum, that it's real estate and it's property is power. I don't want to be the Amway guy or I got this hustle or that hustle. I just want to be the real estate guy.
So one of the things when I met Anthony years ago, I just heard of Anthony, I saw your face on billboards. What was that all about?
So that was a young, foolish.
No, you were giving away houses.
So, yeah, so we did, okay, all right, real quick, so digress a little bit. So we spent $1 million a year in advertisement, did billboards, buses. I gave a house away every year to a family in need.
I did not give one.
Did the Oprah Winfrey Show, I say all this, it's coming from a humble spot, okay? So because you can go on a journey, you can have a dream and then you can achieve it beyond your wildest imagination. And I remember sitting over at Northland Mall, and I was at the light, and my big old head went by on a bus, and I literally started to cry. Just think about that. Anthony, Kellum, it just went by, and everybody's getting the bus, and I was sitting at the light, and I just started to drop tears. And in those tears is your journey. And I made it bigger than I ever imagined. Making it was just
right.
That's pay your bills, do a little traveling, but you start hanging. You start making money. The big dogs come out. You start hanging out with athletes, and stars, all kind of stuff. But you also can lose.
You spending $1 million on advertising. So how much, if you could say, if you were making?
I was taking home $300,000 a month.
Okay, there you go.
That's after our bills.
Right.
I used to be so embarrassed sometime when we'd come home and the kids would leave the garage up because all the cars would be in there, and like when you pull up you pull up in a certain situation, you see how you actually live, and it's like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this a little bit, So then 2008, where's Lyric at?
Yeah.
It was robbing gas stations or something I heard, something like that.
Yeah.
So 2008 came around, really 6 for us, and that was really a nightmare. And this is one of the reasons that I wanted to be here today, and thank you for Pam for allowing me to be here and have a voice.
Pulling you in.
It's like 2008 was terrible. It was awful. You had, I'm in the business. You guys are probably losing houses and all that, but I was in the business. I had 277 houses, 66 employees, 3 offices. It was crazy. And my wife didn't work, kids, and it literally was like boom.
Yeah, a lot of people were homeless during that period
of time. Bad. We were almost homeless. If I didn't have a little bit of Lagarde hustle in me, I would have been out. But I knew how to move. You grew up in Detroit. You know how to move around when it gets tough times, right? But yeah. So I say all that to say that my journey now is, God. He's just amazing.
And sticking with real estate, you didn't give it up. You would say, no more of this. I'm done with it. You were like, no, we got to look at it a different way. Yeah. And
in some ways, bigger and more focused and defined and more helpful. So I used to walk in a room. I used to walk in that room. Everybody would run to me. And you'd be surprised how many people I've given money to that I can walk in a room, they won't even speak to me.
Wow.
I got to go over to them. But they have no idea how I'm moving, how great I'm doing, and how I could help them. Right. But they revealed to me whom they are, right? Mm-hmm. So having said that, so there's a title company back there I walked into, and I was like, hey, I walk up the title company, and she was like, who are you? I was like, what? You don't know Kellum Mortgage? but then I thought of you. I was like, I got to get back out here with the young folks and start marketing. And I'm so excited to do some business with them. I can't wait to do business with them. But having said that, moving on to the agenda, it's the perfect time right now for investors.
Property is power.
Absolutely the best time. And one of the things I want to share through my Property is Power mission is homeownership is the way to go. I'm serious. If you own a house.
What's the percentage of African Americans homeowners?
52%. 52% is terrible. But now these lenders and investors.
So that you can't even legacy-wise, 52% can't leave a house, or 49% can't leave a house to create they don't have.
Well, I think I agree with mentality. That. It's if you don't own a house, you're not really leaving a legacy. I'm talking about legacy that is intangible. Kids playing in the backyard, kids in the front porch, kids walking to the corner store, bedrooms for kids, family dinner. Having a house is, especially in the African American community, it should be something that we should be talking about early to our kids. Not having my kids fell victim to this. They go get the pretty condo or whatever, or the townhouse or whatever. I'm like, you just making that guy richer. Own something, pass something along, build equity.
How does your dad, you said your dad was in real estate. What sparked that then? Because not everybody's parents were into real estate. So what kind of sparked that there? Did he see it from another angle?
My dad was an engineer by trade.
Okay.
And he
So
worked at Michigan Bell, and it became a side hustle for him. And he retired early. At that time, they were doing buyouts. And he ended up having 44 houses.
Wow.
And the issue, so my sisters and I, when we were in high school, and we got in trouble, we had to go over to the houses and clean them, and they were a mess, you know, this and that, as a punishment. And we were like, Dad is using us, like, because we stayed in trouble. And my dad put me, he said, one day you're going to own these houses. And I thought to myself, I don't want that junk. Right? You know, you're high school. I don't want that. And my dad died early. I got those houses, and I was like,
he
saw
the vision.
Yeah, he saw the vision. I owned them and rented them out. And every time I would go and have my I would think about those times in high school. But we talk about legacy. My dad passed those houses on to me. I was able to help. I was able to borrow against them. I was able to grow. And that's why homeownership is so important. Having property is paramount. It's just the most principal thing that black folks should be doing. Period. Number one. That's the number one thing. Forget values, how you buy out, forget interest rates and all that gibberish. It's all about, ride and tide. For example, my house in Northfield, we owed $1.1 million on it. In '08, it was a mess. And and they was putting them notices on our doors and stuff,
Lord,
man. I was out there every day. I was ducking in the bushes. My hand up.
Woo, 2008 was just a bad year.
Man, when you out there like that, they on you. And I ended up renegotiating. We did the first short sale. I ended up redoing that for $400,000. I sold that house not that long ago. I made $700,000. I bought the Aretha Franklin house.
Yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
And rehabbed it. I had all the Motown people over there. I had media. You realize how much the media called me? You don't see me in the media because it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for my what's the word?
Brand.
No, it wasn't good for me. I mean, it just
personal.
I wasn't just, some people just can't handle it. You know what I mean? It wasn't. So I don't do those things per se, right? I won't do anything that makes me look,
audacious
I won't do it. I pray about it every night. My prayer, Lord, keep me humble. I'm the only child, only boy. Well, middle at that. So I'm starved for attention. Like my wife would tell you every day, dang, you've been talking about attention for 30 years. I need all I can get. I need just keep pouring. That's me, one of those guys. So having said that, I just know myself and I just try to operate in a more genuine, authentic way.
People appreciate that. People can really tell when someone is thirsty for attention. So people appreciate that. And that's why I really wanted you to come up and tell people your story, tell them about your program. You have, humility is power. And so you can share so much. I mean, someone who's making like millions of dollars is now saying, I really want to just really make sure that other people know how to do that and how to move and how to avoid some of the mistakes that you made. And that's really like the main thing.
So I hear we wrapping up because I'm getting good at this. So I want to leave you guys with a couple points. One is, if you're looking to buy an investment property, reach out to me. Yeah. So we got products right now where you only need, a lot of entrepreneurs don't have the revenue, but they have the income. Like, in other words, they have money in the bank. So we can just use your bank statements. We don't need W-2s, we don't need tax returns. Just give me a year or 2 years worth of bank statements. If you're looking to buy an apartment building, we can do that in your business name, we can do that in your personal name, and we don't even need your income. We don't need your tax returns, we need your pay stubs. We just need what you're renting the building for or what it's leased for currently, and we can use that as revenue. These are products that I wish I had years ago. Now, you're going to have to put 15% down. You have to figure that out. But think about not having to give your W-2s or tax, especially as being an entrepreneur. Like, you can have, cash flow. You can have money in the bank.
You have cash flow, right.
So, hey, give me a bank statement. We're good to go. So thank you so much for your time. Any autographs or pictures you need? See, no, I'm teasing.
What is it? The Keller's Mortgage?
Yeah, Kellum Mortgage. Just hit kellummortgage.com. It goes right to my site. You can fill out an application right there. We got a team of people to help. I'm good.
All right, good. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you so much, Dr. Anthony.
Thank you so much.